Hello, hello, everybody. I'm live and I'm working on setting up a tool, like a console, to help me control OBS. I'll be working on this for the next few hours with Claude. Feel free to chat me up. I will be integrating chat into this soon. The things that I'm going to be working on first is a scene layout builder where I had Claude build a little playground. It exports all of these values into JSON files, JSON. Somebody help me with that. And then we're going to implement these scenes into OBS, and they will be controlled by my EK21 Epo Maker that I've been working on turning into a live stream chat tool. So I hope you enjoy what we're doing. And if anybody shows up here, I would love to talk to you. Okay, so Google does stay green. Um, it does look like I'm off the air though, even though I am, I think, still live in OBS after I refresh the page. You tell me uh, what's up with that? And feed it some screenshots, see how it thinks. This is another project that I'm working on called Design Engine, and it's the thing that I use to build the thumbnails for these videos. It's a very basic tool, uh, but it's designed to be fast. Yeah, I would like you to do that after the stream. Just since we are working on this tool while I'm streaming, it would be nice for it to be as functional as possible. Um, but it's not a big deal for this stream specifically. I want to work on some of the other projects now. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't give me a lot more freedom with terminal font size and the other font sizes. No need to make it that small of a bump, but otherwise it's good. Yep, everything else you've said tracks. I wonder if my radio works right now. Hmm. I want to keep you working on broadcast actually, and uh, I'll work on other projects in other windows. So I don't mind if we have to like go off air and come back on to make this work. Let me know what you think about that, and let's talk about what else is on the agenda for this tool before we do anything. Mhm. Yep, that sounds perfect. So what we're talking about here is in the design engine panel where I have this window. I have a whole bunch of controls, and the UI is a nightmare right now. Um, these panels also operate kind of as layers for the thing. So if I put, for example, a sub headline, and I want that to be visible, let's make one. So currently it says building live, but we can't see it. Normal. Let's see where it is. Our XY overlay is gone for this. So we don't know where it is. That's a bit of an issue. I'm gonna have to note that one. Let's see. So these should be able to like go over top of each other. There we go. So building live is positioned underneath this. But the way it should work is if I grab subheading and I move it up over headline, it should be above the headline layer. And right now, it's not working. So we're gonna fix this whole thing. Uh, okay, headshot is just like gonna be a picture of this beautiful thing on the screen and make it so that people know that I'm a human and that they'll be watching a human work with Claude. Yeah, it's almost like the way the interaction should work is that um, it should be based on which panel you have focus on. So I'm not sure if this makes sense, but I'm just thinking out loud. Like maybe, you click on the subheading panel and then drag is the subheading. You click on the headline panel and drags the headline. Same with the background, same with the headshot. That's probably a bigger change, but why don't you tell me what you think about that? I'm going to be just jumping back and forth between these projects a little bit as I figure out what I want to work on. Okay, live state persistence on refresh. Yes. Overlay HTML pages. Yeah, we want to work on those. Stream launcher script. Yep. Chat overlay GIF background update. Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, I think we start with 1, 2, and then we'll go to the down the list from there. And we'll go to the down the list. No, I think you're totally right about that. Like, I don't wanna change the features for that pan zoom on the thing, and in fact, maybe that pan zoom is just done more like an avatar in its own modal window or something like that. So yeah, no big deal there. Let's not mess with the larger interactive pattern yet, or maybe ever. Yeah, I think the chat should just start manually again. I think it's a really important thing. I'll forget if we don't do that. Gosh, features that I want. I want snap, like grid snapping on this. Okay, well, we'll get back to that. Okay. Yep, I think that's perfect for headshot crop. Yeah. So for the terminal header, right now you've got those looks like coded in pixels, but just remember we're doing everything in EMs. So like the 32 pixels fixed. I don't know if we want that. It's okay to give me some control over sizes. I'll determine what's okay in terms of like visibility or not. Um, Same with the header. And yeah, I think the threshold logic makes sense. It's just that the pixels and EMs. I'm not sure why we're doing pixels yet. So let me know. No, I don't want to leave chat as a manual restart. Sorry. What I meant was I think that the chat should start automatically again, not manually. I definitely want everything to just kind of fire back up if I refresh midstream. Yeah, I think we go with A. Good option. I think that makes sense. Um, can you think of any ways that this would fall apart or break anything? Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be an absolute disaster or not, converting things to M's, but I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work well. I just have to start thinking in terms of subdivisions. Yeah. So, like, thank you for bringing up that idea of the VW units. Like, I don't know the difference between EMs and VWs, and I'd love your help with that sort of thing. Like, you don't need to call them EMs in the UI if that's wrong. I'm more interested in my mental model accurately reflecting what is happening as opposed to um, me trying to project my view onto something that isn't real. So, yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Please educate me on it, and then let's uh, make the choices based on that. They say that good taste is just a well-informed. I'll try that again. They say that good taste is just a well-informed opinion. So let's get informed. Okay, great. That's perfect. And can you also just make sure that nothing is posted to X or Blue Sky unless the YouTube stream actually starts and is everything's good and we're sure we're live. Pixels is absolute size. Yes. Ems is relevant to the parent element's font size. Ah, cool. I love it. Let's do it. Yep, I believe that looks correct. Okay, how come this doesn't have a GitHub remote? I think it should. What do you think? Yes, please. For some reason, I think that we keep running into this issue. Like, I believe that broadcast does have its own. So just have a look and let me know, but it should definitely be private. And the name broadcast is great. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, let's recap this full design and see what it says. So, 8 items, final form. Panel reorder ghost. Other panels animate apart with insertion indicator. Background panel stays pinned at the bottom. Yes. Drag grip collapse icon visibility. Bump opacity to 06. Okay. Uh, collapse all, expand all, 2 buttons at the top of the sidebar. Headshot crop. Yep. Terminal header auto collapse. Yes. Kill saved pairings. Remove drop down save button. Yeah, let's just kill it. Terminal font size range. Yes. Percentage of frame width slider values. Yes. I'm not going to overwhelm it. Let's go. Hey, writing specs. Yeah, I do want to jump into broadcast. I sort of thought that that happened automatically when I was in GHFAI and I just said, let's work on broadcast. So my bad, but yeah, let's go there. Restart live state. Yeah. All right, let's have a look at this. You nailed it, I think. This is one of the issues is that you definitely start to hit a decision fatigue point where you just can't read spec docs forever. You just want to die. I'm working on it. So this is the tool that I've built um, to help me build better OBS layouts. And by I built, I mean I talked to a robot. Claude, you so good at helping me. So we'll see what happens here. Ah. Okay, is writing. No, I'm good. Let's move to the implementation plan. Okay, I love this new feature for sure. I already have localhost 58428 open. 58428. Is that what I said? Got it right either way, but I don't know. And I'm gonna go get some water. You know, I'm not sure when I should choose subagent or inline execution. Um, could you evaluate this and then tell me which one you recommend? I don't know what star D is. That's my problem. Yeah, I think um, it's probably easy if it's just like a manual list that I write out somewhere in the dashboard, and I just can type tasks and put them in, and I can kill them from that area, and they just disappear. You know, doesn't need to be anything super deep. I just want to like share what I'm working on with people so they know. It might be cool to be able to assign like a color to them, similar to that custom status bar thing that I'm using. Okay, all code changes are in. Wow. You're live right now, so you can test immediately. Refresh the dashboard page. Let's see how it goes, gang. Google Dot stays green. Let's hard refresh. Okay. Think I'm still streaming. YouTube dot turns green with broadcast active. Refresh. Hmm. Okay, so I didn't drop everything, but uh, it didn't keep the thumbnail in. Uh, it doesn't look. It does say I'm off air, although OBS seems to be still on air. The YouTube light is brown or dark gray. Have a look and tell me what you think. No, it's neither of those actually. It was a tool that I used NPX for that modifies the Code status bar. And I think actually it looks like it was been deleted. But it just allowed you to like add color to a text, then a separator that was colored, color to a text, then a separator, that kind of thing. I think that the reason why we wanted cam frame was so that I could like round the corners of the uh the device so that it was like I could give like a custom look to my overlay. Um Let me know if that's making sense to you or not. Do you have a recommendation for which approach would make more sense for this particular uh step? Bad at words. Mhm. Yeah, good question about the EK21. So it is a physical macro keypad or keyboard that I use on stream. It's the EPO Maker EK21. But there's a project called EK21, which is a project I'm developing with you that allows us to see what the EK21 looks like, and it has custom keys, and it can be programmed through that interface. You can read about it under the EK21 project. Yeah, so this is the thing I'm learning over and over is that every time I ask this, or I'm asked this question, like plan, complete, and save to, do you want to be a sub-agent driven or inline execution? And it's really about whether or not the tasks should be handled individually and if they impact each other. If it's individual tasks, sending sub-agents to go off and just do all of those tasks in parallel is great. If they have overlap or if they impact each other, then going with an inline execution can reduce errors or issues. In this case, we'll go sub-agent driven and see how it goes. Okay, so it's telling us to, oh, look at that. Hey, nice work. Looks like it's working great. I do want you to just go do it. Get after it. Okay. Already has a visual macro pad. Yeah, shows the layout. Blah, broadcast view stream facing version of that, showing viewers which keys you're pressing. That's right. How would key presses get from the physical to the overlay? Any keys? We need to. Yeah, that's a great question. I'm not sure exactly how it works. However, I know that we already made progress in that area in the EK21 project. In fact, I have it so that if I press certain keys on there right now, it will launch the OBS shortcuts. Like I can change scenes with OBS with this tool. So could you please just read the last report on it in the project docs? Maybe that'll give you enough info. And if it doesn't, let me know. I will help you find the right documents. Okay, thumbnail didn't restore. That's expected. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure. We can wrap this session since we made some good progress and then we'll pick it up after that. My wrap process right now is like massive and annoying, and I really need to reduce it down so that it doesn't take so long. Yeah, I totally agree with you. No need to go crazy just for like a key press highlight. It's not a big deal. It matters more to me that this thing actually works for me than to showcase it on the screen. I'm going to just load up Skill Creator right now and I'm going to talk to it a little bit. Right now I have a wrap skill and I think it's on per like workspace level. I want it to work basically the same within every project. But right now that skill just has too many gates. I have to press enter too many times with it. I'm wondering if we can use loop to look at it and evaluate the answers and make it a little bit better, faster, since I'm starting to experience more desire to implement a feature, test, confirm, wrap, and continue with my projects. What do you think is a good approach for this? It's not a rag skill, it's a wrap skill. Interesting that my Claude window is not moving. Hmm. So it's just stuck on this tab. I didn't realize that. I've been working on a lot of different tabs. So I think we're going to need to fix this in OBS. We'll start that right away. Which one is it going to be? Okay. So you guys probably can't see this, which is something I want to change. No, I want it to be Claude Code window. Ghosty. It's a ghosty window. Does it? Hmm. Yeah. Okay. This should make it a little easier to see. And by that, I mean you should be able to see it now. Let's find out. Okay. Bottom bar, task color separator, straight through, done. Yes. Task overlay, full task list overlay. Scenes that want the detailed view. No, I don't think we need to build task overlay.html anymore. That's not that important to me. Just what matters is that I have the ability to like populate or moderate or edit that list of tasks that will just be the little hopper at the bottom. No need for anything else, but the broadcast dashboard should include controls to add and remove tasks from that bar, the hopper. Okay, task chat overlay. Add GIF background by the existing chat messages. I mean, I think that's already done. I don't, that's working. I'm not sure why we're missing that one. Maybe there's another repo with that work in it. Worth having a look. Cam frame, transparent overlay that masks webcam corners. Yes. Stream launcher script opens my windows, my Brave Stream profile. Yeah, all that stuff. No, this isn't all fed by a new task section in the dashboard. That's for sure. Just the task hopper is fed by the task section in the dashboard. That's it. Uh, the all of those other windows are managed by the broadcast dashboard application. It has nothing to do with the task section. Those are separate. The tasks section is a, I guess, control panel that exists in the broadcast dashboard. All of these windows that you're talking about, like the cam frame HTML, the chat overlay HTML, the task hopper HTML, those are windows that the broadcast dashboard is going to open up that's going to be consistent for OBS so that OBS operates the same way every time. And I don't have to fiddle with setting up windows and putting them all in the exact right place every time. And you know what? Right now, I think let's just focus on putting in the YouTube chat. Like the YouTube chat that's in the set list already has this GIF background and it has a control panel that's already there. So like we're really just like moving that over to like the chat window itself to like a Chromeless window. We don't need to really build it as far as I know. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, it's too many gates. Yeah, I feel like it's probably a good idea to make it fully automatic even. And what would be great is if that process could just include some sort of like wrap reviewer that gets deployed and examines the full conversation against what is being proposed. And if it notices some errors, it brings that back and then the wrap is updated and then it's done. That would be my ideal. And yeah, I don't think I'll work in users KLS. I think I'm gonna like dot Claude. I think I'll work in volumes GHF, but I don't know exactly what makes sense for the second question. Um, in my mind, I want them to just be global and just one of them, but I'm not sure why there's two set up. Yeah, for task hopper, I'd also like a bit of the same kind of abilities that I had before, which is like to put in like a symbol or something like that. Maybe it's an emoji, maybe it's an ASCII character to represent like check marks or X's or graves or skulls or what a bug. I don't know, just stuff like that to give it just a little bit more um, personality and a little bit more information. Uh, strike through, I think, does mean done. I don't know. I'm struggling about the check mark for some reason, but it seems okay. Yep, that seems good to me too. All of that sounds great. Okay. Um, I think A makes a lot of sense to me, although I do think it does make sense to just kind of like save all of this stuff. I'd like to know and have a history of like what I did, what tasks I put into the stream, which ones I completed, which ones I didn't complete. That's why the current task uh, project or set list project or whatever it's called has this history of MD documents that keeps them. And um, I can imagine myself setting up tasks and then stopping halfway and coming back and using them again. So to me, it would be nice if we made them persistent. We already have a server that's running somewhere. Uh, so this could be done on Ka. This could be done on the Opal stack. However you need to save it, just keep in mind the challenge that we had about running this as a local server. Um, and why we're running it as a local server. It's like, I think mostly around the thumbnails and the music, although music might be dead. I don't know if I'll ever use the radio. I'm not sure. So I'm open to refactoring this if that makes sense. But I definitely pushing back on the fact that tasks are ephemeral. Yeah, let's all try it out. And I'll report back. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like the task hopper bar, the way that it looks right now. I want to know what font you're using for that. I think I probably want to use something like JetBrains Mono, and um, I want to make sure that the way I can build it allows me to like color the pipes, the in between, and the symbol examples are not quite what I had in mind. I think they're a little bit too flashy. Um, okay, I like that it can like offer me some. But that I could type any emoji. The problem is like typing emojis is annoying because I don't have them connected to a keyboard. So ideally, I just have like a full emoji picker. And I also like the idea of ASCII characters, like they're just cooler. So it'd be more interesting to like look at ASCII characters that relate to this potentially. I have a huge library of ASCII characters in my ASCII Canvas project or my ASCII Playground project. Cool. Getting hungry. Okay, I like the font better, so great work. I think that the separators should make sense in terms of like linking the tasks. So, like a pipe would be like, okay, this is one task, and the next one is a completely different task. Maybe what we have is there's also something that represents like a link or it's sequential, like this, then this, and that would make sense. I like the idea of the bugs. That's good. I guess I'm kind of over the idea of the pipes being colored, so it's all good if they're just 30% opacity of whatever. In terms of the ASCII stuff, I don't think they need to be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really like the way that they're sorted out right now, and they're like these boxes. And I'm not really sure why you're limiting like the selection so much. Could you give me an answer about that or like help me understand it a bit better? I think it's good to limit the selection, but I just don't know if like these are the ones that I want. So maybe we can figure out a better way to like let me pick. Okay. Yeah, definitely I do want a pipe as well. It's an option. Pipe is like the most common one. I'm just saying that in some cases I may want something that implies a flow or a sequence. So all good, but just make sure both options are available. I think that's making a little bit more sense. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds good. And like probably I should be able to just open up the full ASCII picker at any time and then just add or remove um, characters from my favorites list. Same with emojis. Let's test quickly and then we'll wrap. Okay, cool. I think we should probably be updating this file and moving it away from this Mid-Journey folder. This is the design engine. It seems like maybe they're getting confused because of my old Mid-Journey things. I probably like started it in that folder, but I would definitely like to clean this up and make sure that the new working file is in the right directory. Same with the Git and same with the Git repo. Nope, I'm doing it wrong. Cool. I'm really glad you're versioning these. It's awesome. Good job. Okay, yeah. I don't know why they're all in little squares. To be honest with you, it's kind of makes it a little harder to look at because they all have a border radius plus padding, plus they're in a square. It's just like a bit too much visual information to like comfortably browse that many items. So let's just reduce the complexity of the ASCII library and like how these symbols are displayed on the screen. There's got to be a cleaner way with less in visual complexity. Okay. Why is thumbs the name of the file? I really want to change it. I mean, the idea is for it to create YouTube thumbnails, but I think we need to give it a more descriptive name. But I don't think index makes sense. And regarding the subagent commits from the session, I think we need to make a note of the path change, and then we'll do a rewrap on this. This is a mess. What am I doing here? Goodbye. Oh, thank God. Okay, that's way better. And then just can you please like make sure that all of the scroll bars have like a transparent background or a background that's not white and the scroll bar isn't gray? Because it's pretty atrocious on the eyes right now. What is this about? So, for comf. Yeah, we'll get rid of you. Yeah, I just think thumbnail maker is good. Oh, let's call it that. Thanks, though. Good suggestions. Yeah, I think it's making sense for right now. Um, looks good. Yeah, let's just keep it around until we're verified. Now, what other applications might break because of this change in the file path? I know that the broadcast server uh, and like the Opal stack and all of that stuff probably call this, like specifically the broadcast app um, has a button called Design Engine that opens it. And maybe we should be changing that. And it should probably even have the button name changed to like Thumbnail Maker. Okay. Wow, I have to pee every 2 seconds. BRB. Okay, let's see. Shape options for my webcam. Cool stuff. Let's see. Oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, I want the option to change all these and use whichever ones I want. So definitely want to do the browser source like we talked about. And then I want the ability to modify these effects and be able to add it. So, yep, 100% on browser source with controls on the broadcast app. Okay. Sounds like you're saying that the thumbnail maker doesn't need its own server. Um, so okay. Yeah, it does save settings, so, like, saves things like a favorites list, it saves things like my favorite fonts, it saves old thumbnails, or, like, it saves the state of edits so that I can load them and come back to them if I liked them. So do you think that that still works as a fully self-contained HTML? Okay. Mm, oh, yeah, we'll get to that later. Chat overlay update. Yeah. Um, I think that's it. As long as the controls from the broadcast app still will be able to control what's happening in the chat, like the start sim for testing, the mask on the background, opacity, the ability to skip past gifts, reject gifts. All of that matters to me, and like the gift duration. Otherwise, and I also want the ability to just put up like an image, not just a GIF. So those things matter to me. And then we'll jump to the Brave browser profiles and all that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that sounds good. And I don't know if you need to like make a note or do anything about that to not mess up like any of the Git repos or anything for that project, but let me know. Yep, that works. Good job. No. That's going to be a fun one when I get to that. Designing my own executive assistant, my own chief of staff, and make one. Okay, so for the remaining things, I have a message for you from another Claude about a commit that I want us to address, and then I'll also address your other questions. Okay, so right now we have two terminal windows named Claude A and Claude B. Actually, I kind of offered other opinion on this. already, which was, um, I can't remember what I said. Darn. I had a better idea for how to name those windows, and it's gone now. I guess we'll have to come back to that. If you look at my layout options the scene layouts, I don't know if we ever moved out of the Claude A or B window architecture, you know? I don't know if we ever, sorry, introduced to Claude B. I don't know if that scenario exists yet. Um, I want the ability to add that in the future, but I don't think we need it right now. I'd like you to look into that. Um, okay, how do I launch Ghosty? I launch it from Spotlight. Um, I think you already did the research on Ghosty setting window titles, but I'm not sure. It might be in previous doc wrap information. And then for Brave, I haven't set up a stream profile yet, so I think we'll probably have to do that together. Something's happening here. I'm not sure if you deleted like all the Claude MDs from the main folders or not, but take a look at what's being said in these pictures and don't jump to any conclusions or start making actions. Let's just talk about this first. Mm. It's always when I like get a little bit tired that I might make a mistake and gloss over reading something by Claude, and then Claude also gets tired and glosses over things, and then we both make a really stupid error. So I want to be very careful with this wrap suggestion. Yeah, please commit it. Yeah, I think so. I'll just give you a little more information with another screenshot. Okay, I mean, I do wanna tighten up the step, but I also wanna, like, sort out the directory confusion, you know? I think a big part of this is probably just me not knowing how to, organize my files or do things properly. Like, I'm brand new to Git, and, I keep launching things from the wrong directories. I kinda made it more complicated than it should be. I've got a zillion projects and a zillion Claude MDs and all of that stuff, so why don't we just sort of talk about if this needs a structural overhaul first and then um, implementing the better step in the wrap skill, or if the structural overhaul would like make that wrap skill unnecessary? Let me know what you think. No, just kidding. Yeah, that sounds great. I guess in my mind, I think it's number two. I understand like kill the parent repo. Um, I know I lose version history on, and I don't want to lose the root Claude MD. At least I don't think so. But maybe that's one of the biggest issues is that I have this Claude MD that's global and then all these other Claude MDs. I don't know if that's helping me or not helping me. One thing I do know is that um, like clean files and I like clean organizational structure. So like the only thing that should exist in terms of the parent repo, that like the top AI folder, is literally just the project index, you know. Everything else and the branch shouldn't ever really like be anything. Like yeah, I'm not sure if the parent repo should exist. I'm really torn on this. What's your opinion about the global Claude MD? Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Thank you. Ah, this is my problem. Start Claude right here instead of going into the actual folder. So silly. Hey, I'd like to add a new role to the agency. This is somebody who is going to be in charge of managing and maintaining all of the Git repos, um, and providing me with like a visual structure of all the Git repos so I can see everything, know where they live, see if the structure is clean or if it's becoming a mess. And I want this guy to also present me with recommendations, reports, metrics, that kind of stuff. One thing I can say for sure is I think live preview uh, can kind of just go away, um, because right now, heads down and project review look really good together, and live preview just moves Claude and webcam over to the left as opposed to being in the center, and it feels feeling a little redundant. Eventually, I'm going to want the ability to just add new scenes, um, and build them with this scene builder that we have. But for right now, we can just have it so that heads down exists. It's renamed to Claude Focus or Focus Claude. Then the next one would be Project Review, which is renamed to Focus Project. Then we have Planning and we have Conversation. So maybe we can get rid of the word focus in front of those. So we just have Claude, Project, Planning, Conversation. Those are the names of the scenes for right now. Yeah, I do want those to be their own Git repos. They're all their own projects, and I definitely want them to have that. Whether we deal with that now or later is up to you. I just want you to do what you think makes the most sense. Guess I got to read that spec doc. Not easy. It's hard to make yourself read these docs. It's painful, actually. Superpowers, broadcast, docs, superpowers, specs, OBS overlays design, OBS overlays design.md. Okay. So for deliverables, out of scope, OBS scenes. Yeah. Oh my god, you made me tired. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm like barely reading this. Oh, this is a lot. This is a lot, a lot. Did you find any mention of me suggesting a better name for the Claude A or Claude B window? I don't think we did we? This is good. Let's roll with it. Okay, fixed and pushed. The session is wrapped. Cool. Um, good. Let's clear. What's this project called? Now, next time I want to open it up and start working on it. Yeah, okay. I mean, maybe we should probably change the project name and like all the associated Git stuff to something so it's simple and just has one name and we just call it Thumbnail Maker. What do you think? Yeah, we're gonna get to this. My little agency. Um, okay, we'll look at this later. Yeah. Wait, what do you um people have definitely built this in the market. Yeah, I'm feel like people have definitely built chief of staffs with Claude or OpenClaw. Um, I don't know if I need to do a little more research or what, but I think it's probably important. I feel like I could find a lot of resources talking about this right now. I'm surprised you didn't find anything. You want to have another look? Yep, I think you are on the money. Thanks for the recommendation. How long have I been streaming for? 98 minutes? It's not that long. Okay. Hey, if I can make this better for anybody by talking about something more or explaining something, please let me know. I'd love to make this make more sense for you. Okay. Great. Okay, good. So we're done on this. Now we're going to go back and we're going to exit and we're going to go into the right directory this time. Yeah. Let's work on the thumbnail maker. Mm, okay. That's good to know. Actually, I think what I want to work on is just a rename of this folder and making sure that that's all good. I thought that was going to show up, but let me give you the context around that. Hmm? Did I miss it? Hmm. Basically, I just want to make sure that we have a clean file structure and name. And right now we call this design engine, but it's not really a design engine. It's just a thumbnail maker. I want to change the folder name, but I also want to make sure that it doesn't break its integration from like the OpenStack server, the other projects, like broadcast, and any other dependencies that it has. I don't even know if I'm saying the right words, but I'm trying to say the right words. Okay, we'll ask it again. I'm going to build a hotkey for this device, for this function, I think, just to like press so that it asks this question every time. Let's see. So, uh, okay. Do you have a recommendation for how to execute on this? I know it's 13 different tasks. Which one do you think would be a better approach to handle this? It could also be a hybrid if you think that would work better too. Okay. Tasks 1 to 6. Hmm. The photos are dead. Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll come back to this. Okay. Too annoying. Mm-hmm. Great answer. Let's do that. Hmm. How are you doing on your context right now? Do you want to wrap and earmark all of these choices, or do you want to keep going? It's not the time. Yep, that sounds good. Let's do it. Okay. Mm, that's for later. I will be starting to design the agency a little bit later this evening, and I think that's going to be really fun. But right now, I just want to make OBS give me my scene layouts in a way that makes sense. Yeah, I just want it to be the same name as the HTML file, so thumbnail dash maker is perfect. Thumb Studio, Thumb World. Hmm? What are we going to do? I'm going to eat a sandwich soon. Historical reports and plans. Revisionist, yes. I don't actually know what that means. Would you mind explaining it to me? I'm pretty good with your suggestion. I just want to make sure I understand. Mm, okay, so what you're saying is two clean steps, no chance of confusion. Yes, that sounds very good. That sounds like the thing that we should do. Thank you. Let's do that. Okay, great. So I guess, is there anything left to do or should we wrap? Hey, design engine project just got renamed to thumbnail maker. So just so you know, that's what's happening. Mm, okay. No worries. We'll just get back to work. That's lovely. Well, I think we're gonna get somewhere pretty good with this pretty soon. I think we're gonna be lighting OBS up, making it work very soon, very quickly. Claude is on fire, unlike yesterday, where Claude was a fire. All right, we're done. I want to see these changes. You tell me, do you want to wrap or do you want to keep going? I'm thinking we just wrap and then we just pick it back up. Small little chunks for Claude. Small little chunks. Let's see how the wrap skill does since now I fixed that. So I don't know if I've explained this, but basically my wrap skill at the end of a session makes sure that all of the work is committed, it's pushed to a GitHub repo, and then it goes into a code review, and then it's slated to merge or to stay branched. I'm so weird directing something to build a system that I don't even fully understand or can't quite articulate. It's very nebulous, but I'm I think I'm on the right path. Sounds so dumb when I say it. But what I mean is that I think I think that this is the proper structure for essentially managing all of my projects. I have a million projects, and when I work on something, there's sort of the main Git repo, which is like the backup of the code base. And then I create a branch, I start working on stuff, and I either finish and merge that in because it works, or I abandon it because it doesn't work, or I finish and it just stays where it is until it is finished. So that's the structure of this whole system, which I think is the structure of how coders do their thing. And I'm just a dumb designer. What do I know? I don't know anything. Okay. Uh, hmm, okay. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this for you. Hmm, right. Keep going back to that. Unnecessary. Um, oh yeah, no, the issue is that I've been working on the Git repo organization in another session. So we've we're no longer treating GHFAI as a Git repo, and instead, um, there's a new structure. So I'm not sure if you need more information, but let me know if you do. See, I don't even know enough about what I'm telling it to do to give it information about what not to do. I don't even think that's a very good sentence, but that's what my head messages sound like now, formerly known as thoughts. Mhm. Mhm. Yes, as long as you're supporting the new structure, which is committing to uh, projects on the project level. So Thumbnail Maker has its own repo, and that's where you're committing the changes. We are golden. Okay, let's see how that rap skill is doing. I think it's doing pretty good. Okay, let's see. Yeah, feeling really good about this. I guess the next question is, what am I gonna do tonight? Great. That's awesome. What should we do next? The code review is really strong, I think. I don't actually know, but I think it's really strong. It takes forever, but I think it's good. Yeah, I think that's good. We'll test the session 8 changes. So what I need now is the broadcast tool going again, but I think that's this big wrap up session here. Yeah. Well, the code review part is taking a really long time, but I get it. It should be thorough and it should be good. So far, it seems like everything is running and flowing really well. And it looks like we're doing a pretty good job in terms of like managing the whole repo. So I know this is for a little bit later, but um, I want to work on that agent a little bit. But for right now, we'll go and we'll look at the thumbnail maker and let's see what's up. AI thumbnail maker, thumbnail maker. Okay. Then I think I need some food. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, killed saved pairings. Good. Font pairings drop down should be gone. Presets still work. Let's see. Thumb presets. Well, some issues. Okay, I will start going through all this stuff to let you know kind of what I'm seeing. Um, first of all, it looks like my list of saved presets is dead. That's too bad. It's not a tragedy, but the list is gone. If you'll notice, I took a screenshot and showed you that the buttons seem to be a little bit broken in there. Um, I don't think we need Alt E export and Alt R shuffle to be both the name of the button and the shortcut. Like we already have a shortcut list over outside of the control panel. So maybe we can include the instructions there and then tighten up this UI a little bit. Okay, so killed save pairings. Yeah, it does. I don't see them anywhere right now. Um, Drag, grip, and collapse icon visibility. Yeah, they're slightly more visible right now. They don't need to be at any dimmed out opacity, so just pop those babies up to like 1, or at the very lightest, you could make them 0.8. Okay, collapse all, expand all buttons. They appear to be working. Good job. When they expand all, the scroll bar shows up and the scroll bar is hideous. Could you make the background of the scroll bar transparent, please? Okay, widen slider ranges and update defaults. So the sliders should have broader ranges. Let's look at some of them. Okay, I think they do so far. Let's drag this around a little bit. That's good. Okay. Maybe you could tell me if there was like, did you update the ranges on all of the sliders? Is that how that works? Um, I'm noticing, for example, like letter spacing has minus 0.07 m and the widest is 0.28 m. I'm wondering where those ratios came from, because the letter spacing isn't that wide, and it's not that narrow either. So doesn't really seem that great to me. Um, okay, percentage of frame width slider display. So yeah, I see them doing that. What I'm noticing is that even when I resize the box, the actual size is increasing when on the size slider, but the box isn't making the text reflow. Interestingly, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Okay, so then percentage of frame width slider display. Yeah, I'm seeing that in a few places, so that's good. Panel reorder ghost. Yeah, I do see the ghost when I try to reorder the panel, so that's good. Yeah, it's not super smooth, but it is working, so good job. Terminal header auto collapse. I'll take a look at that right now. Okay, one thing I'd like to see is that if you just click on the title across the whole header of any panel that expands or collapse, like it shouldn't be limited to just that little icon arrow. And the titles of these panels are too dim and a bit too small. They could just be a little bit bigger. So I'll try showing the terminal now, and it doesn't look like the terminal is collapsing. And I'll try out the headshot modal now. Hmm. Yeah, interesting. It didn't seem to bring up. I wonder if I'm got a cached version of this or something. I don't know. Some of the stuff that you said is in there, and some of the stuff you said isn't showing up. We'll try a hard reset on this and just see if we can make the terminal window work. But I wonder if, okay. So the terminal window collapses the header if I use the height, but not if I use the drag to resize box on it. So yeah, I wonder if the boxes really make sense or not. I don't know. I guess maybe it does for the text, but maybe it shouldn't for the terminal. Um, yeah, let me know what you think. Maybe it makes sense and I'm just overcomplicating it. But I'd like the terminal to collapse a little sooner when it's just the command line. Yeah, what happens is if the font size is maxed out and the terminal height is low, even the command doesn't fit. So like the breakpoint for that needs to be a lot larger, a lot more of a proportion of it. I'll show you a screenshot. Yeah, I think it's all working. Thanks. I'm not sure if anything needs adjusting right now. I guess I'll get back to you later. Hmm. Oh yeah, that's way down here. Um, mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll come back to that. Oh, that was weird. Mm-hmm. I wonder what it's doing. I wonder why these all require such explicit permissions. Mm. It's just for inside GHF AI, and that's right. And even more specifically, it'll be like the agency subfolder, AI/agency, but I do want it to no, why am I overcomplicating this? What am I even saying? That's correct. It's just for GHF AI. Yeah, I'm think that we got a little bit confused, um, you know, a while ago with this, and so I really want to just step back and think about this more from like uh, a fresher perspective because this feels like it's laden with context that doesn't even make sense to me yet. So how about I just tell you what I want? Okay, I'm still seeing some issues with the buttons up at the top. Like there's this Alt Z undo, export and shuffle are now renamed to buttons, but the tooltip that's in the main panel is not present. So that's a bit of a mistake there. That should be fixed. Um, it wasn't just about changing or shortening the labels. It was about moving the text where I said to move it. Um, let's see. Hey, the collapse button on background doesn't work anymore. I don't see a drag handle on background, but so, it's fine if um, it's fine. Um, when I click on the drag handles, headline is stuck below background, but background disappears and it should just keep background at the top since it's pinned at the top and can't be rearranged or moved. Um, that would make it look and feel like it makes more sense. Good job on the scroll bar. It's much better. Yeah, just bump the controls, the grab handles and the expand control up to full opacity and just make the panel title a lighter color because they're too hard to read. And it's not just about the letter spacing um, control being too narrow. It's about a lot of the controls being too narrow. And for some reason, I feel like you need to really restrict the parameters on these, but you don't. I would rather have too wide of parameters and then tell you to narrow them than to constantly be telling you to expand them and you only bump it up by like 5% every time. That's not working for me. Yeah, I'm basically looking at all kinds of messy things. Like it's all of the above plus anything else this guy notices, because I'm new at this and I keep launching Claude from project level, workplace level. I make rules that I think are global and they're not global. I write a skill in one place and then I expect it to be in another place. I think plugins are global and they're not global. Like the whole thing for me is opaque right now. And I want help understanding it. So having it represented visually is very important for me and very useful. So if I can like look at a diagram of the Git structure and see, oh, this project has the superpowers plugin and the front end designer plugin. This one doesn't. This project has its own Git repo. Maybe it should or it shouldn't. Oh, these two projects are actually merging into a project. Maybe we should merge the repo, like that kind of stuff. I want an assessment from this agent on like, the health, the hygiene, the practices, improvements, that kind of thing. Okay, basically what I want is a set of skills or agents that I can deliver tasks to that are working and have the ability to work together. Uh, and I want each one of these to have a name and a personality that I get to know and like a visual indicator. And I essentially want to think about it like I'm hiring roles in an agency, staffing an agency with these skill sets or people. So, I do want a front end designer. I want a PR person. I want a social media strategist. I want a social media content specialist. I want a security person. I want somebody who operates as an executive assistant. I want a chief of staff. I want a um, career coach. I want a marketing specialist, like a salesperson. So in this way, I can come up with a desire for a project, and then we can figure out which are the right people or agents or sub-agents. I mean, I guess I'm gonna say individuals, because I don't know if I don't think people's the right word when I'm talking about, like, agents only and skills only and working with you. This is, practically speaking, just Claude, you, and me, working on things, but I wanna essentially anthropomorphize it so that I can get a better understanding of it and I can follow, um, or emulate some of the ways that certain organizations operate, and it just makes it a little bit more of a clear mental model for me. I think it's a I don't know the answer to that, actually. I'm not sure. Um, I think it makes sense for me to run it on demand. I also want to be able to loop it in on certain tasks or projects that might make sense. Um, could you maybe give me more context about this decision and help me understand what the right choice would be? Wow. Great. Okay, let's test. Okay, if you look carefully at the screenshot that I included, you can still see the Alt plus Z U that's like in the top toolbar. Um, and the top toolbar buttons are still a mess. Like export shuffle, this weird thing with like a backtick in it, the plus, and then the X, and they're all different sizes. And it's just an absolutely crazy implementation of controls. That whole thing needs to just be overhauled and improved. Um, but just start by getting rid of that Alt Z undo thing, please. Okay. The drag grips, the drag grips and the arrows make more sense now. Um, like in terms of how they look visually, they're better. Um, the expand collapse is working better. Although the background arrow for expanding and collapsing, all of them now, actually, if you click the arrow directly, doesn't work. That's the opposite of what we want. Should be that clicking the arrow absolutely works, but also clicking across the entire header, with the exception of the drag window, uh, works. It'd be nice if we could like smooth that animation, the collapsing animation out a little bit on the drag, if possible, and maybe animate the movement of the other pieces a little more smoothly when they get out of the way. That'd be very, very nice. Okay, so then the other thing that seems to be happening is like certain sliders don't seem to, or they seem to affect each other for some reason. Like if I slide size, it actually changes the letter spacing. So, letter spacing shouldn't be affected, I don't think, by any other slider. It just should change the letter spacing independently of the size. Are there any other sliders that for some reason change the values of other sliders when they're being moved around? Okay, yeah. Do you think that there's a reason for me to ever just like ask it to analyze one project as opposed to the entire repo? Uh, I, I don't know how big this repo will grow or what benefit it would have if maybe it's too complex for it to analyze all at once. Um, I'm not sure about that. Maybe it just runs at the sort of like the agency level or just on a per project level. I'm not sure. It's a good question. I guess it does make sense for it to be option C, both layers. You know, I don't necessarily want to be able to just like access these through tabs necessarily, but um, I guess maybe that is how they'll play out. I want to discuss with you like what that actually means later. I don't, and by what that means, I mean about like the structure of building these skills agents within uh, the agency project so that I can hand them tasks or have them perform tasks on demand. Well, broadcast is already running. I'm live streaming this right now. No, let's just go through them in order. When you say does it show up, what where should it show up? Where were you expecting? No, nothing appeared just yet. I'll try again. It might have be because the default label for the task color is black. Nope, it's not showing up. The default label looks like it's black, which it definitely should not be. Um, but even when I selected other colors, nothing was showing up. I want you to look at that CC status line tool or whatever that I ran on NPX. I can see if I can find it, but no, I don't want you to look at that. Actually, just kidding. But yeah, nothing's showing up here when I add a task yet. Okay, good job. It's definitely improving. The animation is still a little bit too quick on all of them, a little too abrupt. A really good job on the background panel. It's much better. Um, Claude Code is looking good. Can we change the default text to just say Claude Code instead of Design Engine? Or actually, let's change the default text to say Thumbnail Maker. Um, yeah, I'm getting sick of seeing Design Engine. Wow, great work on everything else. It looks like the crop headshot one is looking good. Um, I think we should be able to change the shape on it. So maybe it's just like a radius. So I can make it fully square all the way to fully circle, like a radius slider. And I just need you to make like all the buttons like the same size. Um, and all the text input fields the same size because I'm kind of going a little crazy thinking about how they look and what's going on with them. Is just way too much. Um, like the text input boxes should be the same height as the drop downs. The buttons should all be the same height. They should be square, not rectangular. All the buttons should be the exact same size as the drop down menus and text input buttons. Uh, the check boxes can be their own height. That's fine. The slider backgrounds should not be white. They should be like dark gray. Um, they're really hard on the eyes. And the color swatches are a swatch in a box, and both of them have borders. And we just need to really clean that up. It's not necessary to put them inside a box at all. They should just be, again, the exact same height and size as all the other things. Okay, so how's that sound? Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, well, I think this is probably a good time for me to wrap and eat some food anyways. So, we'll restart the server and I will come back after I eat a sandwich. Thanks for watching. If you watched, I appreciate it. I see maybe one person's watching. Bless you. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, honestly, like, feel free to leave me a comment or a message if I can make this better for you. All right. Good times. Back in a little bit, everybody. Thanks.